So again, we're not going to become the political speak. We're not going to talk about this much, but I found this interesting. Right before we went on air, I saw online that Jimmy Kimmel, Live with Jimmy Kimmel, has been suspended indefinitely because of comments that he made on his show about Charlie Kirk and the assassination. And I don't watch late night TV anymore. I can't stay up that late. My age, I'll watch clips online and stuff afterwards, and I think most people do that anyway. But regardless, I read some of the comments he made, and some of them were pretty bad. Some of them are like whatever. But this goes back to the comic book, the Red Hood getting canceled. And here's the thing, and this is even worse because you cancel a comic book and you have an artist and an inker and a colorist that are probably all need work, and comics is you're paid by what you do, not an hourly wage. So if you're not getting work, you lose it, and there's maybe even an editor on the book. But a TV show, there's dozens and dozens of people at least. You got cameramen, you got production crew, you've got
all that
sound
shit.
guys, light guys,
Mike,
that are all now out of work. And that's not right. Like, honestly, should there be a penalty because it's the company that owns CBS that did this, something Star, Netstar, something. It's like a media company that owns a bunch of channels and whatnot. They made the decision to pull the plug on the show.
Yeah.
And I love when they use the term suspended indefinitely. It was canceled.
Yeah.
But you can fine him out of his pay, or you could and say don't do it again, or you can pull him as the host and have someone fill in for a while. Like, that's the thing. You're hurting a bunch of people's livelihood. What do you think? Because Nexstar, that's it. Thank you, Thrawn. There. Yeah, Nexstar is the company that owns them. So what do you think?
I think there's a lot to this, actually. So the first thing is, this is one universal truth of politics, culture in general, is the pendulum swings. Oh, liberal. Oh, conservative. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
And so we've experienced the woke counterculture, if you will.
Yes.
Now here comes the pendulum, and now we're doing the conservative cancel culture. So I said counterculture. I'm sorry, cancel culture. So we're seeing that. And why are we seeing that? Because these companies really only care about one thing, and that's money. And their perception is that the pendulum has swung to the conservatives, and so they're going to get ahead of that as much as they can.
I agree 100%. It is about the money, and they don't want to lose advertisers. I guarantee that was part of what happened after he made the comments. The advertisers called and said, we're going to pull advertising on the show. And that's probably where the decision really came from. What I find funny is there are already people online going, oh, this is the end of free speech. This is fascism, blah, blah. Like, the government had nothing to do with this show being pulled. The culture is why the show got pulled. The other side of that also is, as you just said, we were experiencing woke cancel culture for so long, where people would make the argument, what about freedom of speech? And they'd go, you're free to say what you want, but you're not free from consequences. Jimmy Kimmel was free to say what he wants, but he's not free from consequences. It's the same argument. I don't understand why you say, oh, my guy can say what he wants, but your guy can't without there being consequences. And again, as we were saying on Sunday, this was a vile act. Somebody's life was ended. Agree with them or disagree with them, it's not right. So to make jokes and to celebrate over someone's death, it's just in poor taste. That's really what it is. And I was thinking about that earlier. It's all about what we used to consider things that were in poor taste. As my mom would always say, uncouth. And it's uncouth to make jokes about somebody's assassination. And the idea that, like, oh no, it's just free speech, it's just jokes. It's no, not even a week later. Like, it's, again, I think it's extreme to pull the entire show because you're putting a bunch of people out of work, but there should be a consequence.
Here's the thing, though. we're in the streaming era now.
Yeah.
And late night talk shows, like, I have not sat down and stared at a device that is showing a late night talk show since I was getting stoned in my best friend's grandma's basement that I rented out for $200 a month after work each night. But now that there's no cable and we don't sit there and just flick through channels late at night anymore, everything's on demand. No one's watching these shows. They can't be. I think part of this is a money saving effort on a part of these networks. I think that was in large part what happened to Colbert. So now Jimmy Kimmel. Go ahead.
No, you're 100%. Number one, the weirdest thing is the number one late night show is Greg Gutfeld, which is on Fox News, which is a cable station. Like, you can't even watch it on regular TV. And like, the most of the audience of anything is split between how many streaming services now, YouTube. We're taking an audience away from something right now, hopefully. So you've got it's what's called CPM. You're paid per so many viewers, the rates that you can charge for advertising. And I know this because I used to work in advertising. So you used to have shows that had tens of millions to hundreds of millions of people watching it because you had only a handful of stations. Now they're lucky if they get 1 million viewers on some of these shows. So they can't be charging that much in advertising. So if you were making less money in advertising and then all of a sudden, let's just say McDonald's calls up and says, yeah, we thought that stuff was in poor taste, we're going to pull the advertising. They don't have an option because they can't afford to keep doing the show because they're not making money. Like, people forget it's all business. They have to make money. And that's how they make money on regular TV, is off of the advertising. If the advertisers say, whoa, this is too hot to be involved with, the show gets pulled. And I guarantee, I could be wrong, but I guarantee a couple times Jimmy Kimmel has probably been warned, like, hush down the rhetoric. It's going to cost us. And he decided to do it anyway. I'm also going to say this. The reason I also am going by my theory is the show doesn't go out live. It's pre-taped.
Yeah.
The censors and everyone saw those comments before it went out live. They knew he was going to say that. They didn't cut it. They have a writer's room. I'm sure their scripts their monologues get approved before they go on air as well. They knew he was going to say it. So what happened was they went, oh, okay. And they aired it. And then advertisers called and was like, nope, I don't want to be associated with the show anymore. And then that was like, all right, we can't afford to lose all that revenue. So they pulled the show. Like, and that's the world. That's just business. Same thing with Colbert. It came out that show was losing 20 million a year or something. Like, the question was, why were they keeping it on that long if it was losing money? Apparently for a couple years. But I digress.
Because they had to pay him anyway.
Yeah, that's another thing. He still has a contract to ride out.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
Yep.
They've just literally made the decision, even though we still have to pay you, it'll still be better for us to not show you and show something else.
Yeah. I hope that all those people involved will get jobs and not suffer from this, because that would suck.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I guess we can talk about the other thing, because Thrawn made a comment here, which I feel leads into one of the things you had said you wanted to talk about. There is a specific bias rule that is supposed to be followed. If they are reporting news, it's flat without bias propaganda one way due to intentional manipulation of facts. And yet, most news, especially, I want to say, I feel like it's since CNN launched and they had 24-hour news, and like they couldn't just think about it. If you just said a car crash happened at this cross street, this many people injured, move on to the next story. Like, if that's all you were doing was just saying, here's something here, facts of here's something here, facts of something here, you're not going to be able to talk long. So when the idea of talking about the news, which was born out of CNN, became a thing, then it was like people with personalities and bias started creeping into the news more. Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.